Hello everyone and happy Friday. Just wanted to make this video real quick, kind of doing a wrap up of a couple of things we've got going on, how we've performed for the week in classes, how we've performed for the week in copiers. Of course, we've got futures and just a whole bunch of other things. But the purpose of this video particularly is going to be how I've been marking up my charts prior to trading futures, right? Mind you, we just went over the areas of interest and how I've marked up my charts for many years, from everything from my taxable accounts to Forex mostly, crypto as well, and stocks and everything kind of in between. Those areas of interest are still valid. Those are still areas of interest, right? They're still significant. But when it comes to opening bell, I'm targeting certain things a little bit differently. So I just wanted to show you, as part of what we're going to be introducing a little bit more post-Thanksgiving and the holiday and travels and all that good jazz, because I think it's super, super, super important. So let's see if I can't pull this up on screen real quick. As you know, okay, I'm going to pull this in. I haven't posted every single day, but we've got a couple more past challenges from Apex and Top Step, which is kind of cool. So we'll see how that all plays out. Of course, US 30 copier growth. People are using our tools, US 30 results. But the one I really wanted to highlight is this was our today, kind of how we performed, up almost 10,000 on the day between Top Step and Apex. That is not a bad way to be on somebody else's money. Granted, I really do highly, highly, highly think it's still a lot to jump through in terms of learning to play on someone else's playgrounds for futures and prop firms. But once you have the skill set, no one can take that from you. So kind of exciting there, 10,000 on the day, and still pretty new in that department. Of course, we've got our altcoins and everything else in between, all really going well. But this right here is one of my favorite people inside of our community. They're using a combination of all the things we've got going on. So, of course, they've got the US 30 copier running. Awesome. They're also using one of the EAs that we provide for everyone who's in part of our community. And it's going really well. And, of course, their own manual trading, right? Definitely not a bad way to be in terms of on the week. So look at that. On the week, these are live funds, and he's doing the dang thing. And remember, not every day is going to be perfect. Like some days are rough. Some days you don't end up in net profitable, et cetera, et cetera. But kind of cool. So I just had to showcase that because, well, it's kind of super important. And I think it's awesome to see the community winning. It's awesome to share not just the sales pitch, because we have to at some point accept that a sales pitch is a sales pitch. It's like the diet pill on TV. Just because you take the pill does not mean you're going to look like, who's super, super thin. I wouldn't say J-Lo, but, she's curvy. It's not going to happen. An advertisement is an advertisement, but truth in advertisement, I think, is still important. Trading is hard. A lot of people win and lose, and more people lose than win. We know that. But once you have that, proverbial diet pill, what are you going to do? Like, are you still going to go to the gym? Are you still going to eat right? Are you going to hold yourself accountable? Are you going to create a trade journal and really check yourself and your process prior to, during, and after trading? Those are all part of the equation. So you have to do your part, whether or not you're using copiers and technology, futures, or Forex. It's still all something you've got to kind of, apply proper risk management and everything alike. So with that said, on screen, as you guys can see, we've got Trading You up real quick. I wanted to go over just a plethora of things, including results from this last week, how we did in classes. I want to go over results from the US 30 copier, how it performed all week. Gold is still holding, not fun, but real, right? And then, of course, this particular video, this section of this video is going to be really just me going over one of the methods I use to mark up my charts pre-opening bell for futures particularly. Mind you, we just went over how we target those areas of interest. And I will preface, I think those areas of interest are still significant. They're still important. They're still valid. Definitely things to keep in mind, especially, with Forex or swing trades, et cetera, et cetera. But this methodology is a little bit more tailored toward what I'm doing in futures. Just gives me my liquidity grabs, gives me my next magnetic areas and my next targets, if you will. So on screen, let me see if I can't share this a little bit better, where it's actually all on screen for you guys. So you guys can see we're in regular trading hours. I'm going to go ahead and go back to electronic trading hours. So if I was just coming to the chart, I'm going to go ahead and do, bear with me. I'm going to go back to replay to 9 a.m. this morning, right? So that's 9 a.m. I think I might be pretty close to there. So this is the time in which I'm coming to my chart. 9 a.m. today. This is the NQ futures contract. The first thing I want to be looking at is pre-market high and low and yesterday's high and low. And when we say yesterday, I don't mean of the full picture like midnight. I mean of when the actual stock market was open. So from 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Some people say 4. Totally up to you. I like 9 to about 4:30. So that gives me my window. I'm marking up yesterday's high, yesterday's low. I'm also marking up pre-market. Pre-market, okay, according to the standard definition, I know people's version of this does vary, but it's between, I believe it's 4 a.m. and 9:30 a.m. So typically I'm marking this up kind of closer to 9, but you guys get the idea. So the high and the low in between, this is 4 a.m. as you guys can see down here, starting here. This is literally the high. This is literally the low. This doesn't happen. Actually, I fibbed. Sorry, I was using the bigger time frame when I did that. But this is the high and this is the low. So now I've got a pretty good idea of what the market's doing, right? I'm always 100% of the time going to go to the 1 hour. I'm going to refresh my chart. I'm going to see what's happening in the big picture. And if I can't see it here, as you guys know, I'll go to the line chart. You can see we are moving overall up, right? I would definitely be showcasing, and probably go to a smaller time frame, but this big trend, if you will. This is a pretty big trend. Multiple touches, breakthroughs all the way across. It's a pretty big trend, right? And as I go down to smaller time frames, where am I going to be targeting next? So if and when market opens, we start to break down, I'm going to, obviously, for those of y'all who are part of that areas of interest video, AOI, this would be my target. That's the 24,750, okay? It's going to be magnetic, period, no matter what happens. And of course, this is the low, pre-market low, more accurately. If we are starting to break up, we're going to have to break there. You'll also notice we are forming this beautiful, perfect, almost wedge flag, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 98, perfect touches, right? So we really need to break out of this when opening bell comes along. So this is all in hindsight, right? Once I have this marked up, I'm going down now to the 15-minute time frame. I'm getting a really clear picture. If I want to dismiss this 1 hour trend line, and in this morning's case, I definitely did. I wanted to kind of see this area, but we'll leave that up just for giggles. We've got this area, which we're kind of sitting at now, right? Multiple touches all along the way, including literally right now. So my morning trend line based off of the 15-minute time frame was more like that. As you can see, this 1 hour is still valid toward the top side. Now I have a really good idea, right? Where the flags are sitting, where everything is sitting. We know what we're looking for overall. So again, back to the 1 hour view. Our job was to do our best not to have a bias, but just to get a chunk of the market when it moves. And that's what I did to make that $10,000 on the day. So what happens now? Going all the way down to the 2 minutes. We've got a pretty good idea. We know that we can break out and tap here, clear that high. We know that if we break out, we're going to get some resistance in that 2750 level-ish, give or take. Why? Not because we already know what happens, but because we already went over this Thursday, how we would have marked up this zone. And if you guys have seen that video, this is that markup, right? This is where that blue box would be going. I can see it without marking it up, but we'll put it on here just for giggles. This is prior to that peak. Look at all the touches. This is an area of congestion, as we called it, right? So cool, we've got this nice little area. We're going to make this blue. Go to settings, if I can. Area of interest, we got it. We know what that little area is. We know if we're buying up, we know our target is going to be up here, okay? There's also a lot of play, but in general, I'm going to be targeting right there. I just wanted to highlight this one because it's going to be super significant here in a second. Now back to candles, going down to the 2 minute time frame. I will bounce anywhere from the 2 to the 15. I'm desperately trying to stay off of the 1 minute. I'm not dare saying I'm perfect at that. I am absolutely not. But now, as you guys can see, we've got our trend lines to the upside. We can clean that up a little bit more if you want. Get lots of touches in this range. You can be the person who wants the extreme wicks. You can also be the person who says, wait, I want to see where the biggest portion of price is sitting. Okay? I don't personally believe either one of those processes are wrong. At the end of the day, you need to be able to A, duplicate this, and B, see it accurately. So don't necessarily listen to me. Maybe consider your own 2 cents of, hey, I like it better when I'm in the line chart, or hey, on the candles, I want it to really, so this is a version. Here's another version. This is still technically a trend line. We've got lots of touches, peeks through. Personally, I like that one that's a little bit closer, so I'm going to go and delete there. Kind of just to give you an idea. We also have another baby wedge forming down. So if we break above it, we know what we're looking for. If we break below, we know what we're looking for. So now we're on the 2 minute time frame. Go back to crosshairs. I'm going to go ahead and wait a little bit of time. That should be 9 a.m. Let's see. I might have waited too long. So let's go a little bit back further. So me cancel. Select bar, we're gonna go to 9:30. So this is 9:30, exactly on the 2-minute time frame. So that's our 9:30 candle, which means this is the close. Oh, no, one more candle over. Gotcha. Gonna go back again. This is our 9:30 candle, right there. So now that I've got my 2-minute range, you can use a 5-minute or 15. Today was really choppy, a lot of just pops all around, drops all around. But this is my first 2-minute range, right? So I'm gonna go down here to opening range. Cool, we've got it. What I'm waiting to see happen is to see how this all plays out. So there's a lot of different ways to do this. You can wait for the break and the retest. Number one, you can wait for the simple break, going for a 1-to-1. Really, really simple. It's definitely not a bad way to be, although I think there are better ones, right? A good percentage of the time, the simple break will give you your 1-to-1, and then that's it. But waiting for the retest confirms the direction for the day. Waiting for the 5-minute or the 15-minute to form and finish will give you the bigger direction for the day. And it's kind of cool because then you can see if you were really ranging for the day, okay, if you were really making any major moves, when you actually do things this way. So here's where we're at. I am going to slow this down a little bit, 0.5, because, you know, this would technically have been 2 minutes if we were doing this live, okay? Oh, so we popped down as one candle in. We popped all the way up. We popped down, so we've retested now the 50, but we did break above, right? We broke above that 2-minute zone. So I want to see if we can get above that and stay above that, because what I would be looking for, to give you an idea, actually I'm going to use this, is our 1-to-1 on that range. So if I move this to here, when we get the breakout, the 1-to-1 on that range is going to be, let's just see. Probably should have moved that over just a smidge, but again, you popped up. But back to what we're saying, ready? So we've already got that wick up. Now, as long as we're staying above preferably that 50% line, I think I'm going to go ahead and move this over. We know what we're looking for. We'd be looking for the long, provided, kind of wish that label wasn't on there. Guess I'm going to take that label off. Okay, a little bit better. So you can still kind of see the size of that range if you want to see it. But here's the deal. All I'm looking for is, let's go ahead and find our nice tool. Will be a long position. We can, of course, take it as we break back above this 50 line. It's never going to be exact. Of course, it's nice to show on YouTube this perfectly timed entry that's amazing and a 2-tick stop loss, and oh my goodness, it's awesome. But the truth is, it's always going to be somewhere in this range between here and here based off of candle movement and everything else. So either way, we're closing above hopefully that 50% line. We've already broke out. We want that retest. You will see it a lot better than the 1 minute, and I was full transparency on the 1 minute. But either way, what I'm looking for is that's your 1-to-1. I'm not putting my stop loss on screen. I'm waiting for the candle to close, which sometimes might mean I'm going to lose more. Full transparency, but also means I'm not going to get wicked around. But if we close below, okay, that box, I'm looking to get out. So that alone is a 2.5 to 1, assuming you got in anywhere past this 50% of this retest mark. And the second we pop back up, okay, this is what that looks like. So we've got our direction confirmed. Let's pop over just so you can see the 1 minute. It's a little bit cleaner on the 1 minute. 1 minute, not much. Wicked up, came down. We're really closing close to that 50%. Let's go ahead and press play. We know that we're going to be locking, scaling, or trailing within about that 1-to-1, which we know in this case is what, 21-ish ticks. So you should be locked, scaled, or trailed at some point here. Of course, you can trail by candle. That's going to give you the 3-to-1. You come back down if you want to get another entry. I'm going to pause here. If you got knocked out, because remember, you've locked, you've scaled, you've trailed at the 1-to-1, the 2-to-1, you're out of the trade. You came back down to retest this box, you took a second entry. This, if you want to, or you take literally just the one entry. Again, you're not likely to get that perfect end of the wick, especially on the 1 minute. But figure you got in somewhere in this range. You're always protecting, locking, or scaling. As you notice, the farther away you get, the harder that 1-to-1 gets. So this is your 1-to-1. Let's pull this all the way down. Cool. And that's what we're doing. So as we came into this, we broke down once. We've stayed above. We closed above that first 2-minute range. Not to mention, this is candle 1, 2, 3. So all the way by the time we get over here, we're done with that first 5-minute range. So now we've got the 5-minute candle range. Let's go ahead and just go there just for a conversation for a second. Now we've got the 5-minute range, which we wicked down. So now we've got a reason to enter on that information alone as well. But back to here, you've got your second entry. You've entered somewhere in there. You're probably not getting that wick entry. Let's all be honest. You're going to get somewhere in this window. Ish, right? Ish. That's your 1-to-1. Ish. You always try to do slightly over. Obviously, you hit that. But let's keep going. And I believe it pops up one more time. Then that's it. So by the time you get that next pop, now you've got another little flag formation. So I'm going to go ahead and remove those. All pretty simple. Delete. Delete. Take those off screen. But now look. Now we're sitting kind of above. I think it starts 20 moving average. Should be on screen. Oh, all the stuff's turned off so I can't see it. So we're pretty escalated above. We also know we've broken above this range that we saw from the 1 hour. And we've retested into it. We stayed above. We also know we broke above pre-market high. We retested back down and stayed above. Cool. But they've grabbed all that liquidity. So all the orders and all that money that was sitting up there, we now know we're waiting. We're holding off. We're waiting. You've got this really steep upward momentum. You've got this area here. And as you break below, now I'm not trying to scalp against the direction of the VWAP if that's your jam, or in my case, the 50 or the 20 if I'm on futures. I don't want to be on the wrong side of that. I do my best to be with the trend. The trend is your friend, especially if you're only ever scalping. But that's that. So play it out just for a little bit more. We are on the 1 minute. 2 minute would be better just to kind of speed that up. We do actually continue a little bit higher. And then you'll notice we break down. So we break down, break through, retest this level beautifully, retest again. And I think we ended up staying, I don't know, I'm going to let this play out for a few minutes. I don't remember exactly. We did finally break below these lows, come below opening bells level. And then I think we stayed in this range pretty long. Pretty long. So if and when you break below, you retest but fail to close outside of, you sell back down, that's your 1-to-1. You're not sure if it's 1-to-1? Come measure. It's your 1-to-1. Break below. Stay below. Keep doing it over and over again. Really simple. Today was a very choppy day, not a fun day, not a super decisive day. I finally got out of the office at 11:20. I told my friend, I was like, okay, I'm going to leave at 11:25 because we went to lunch. Beautiful, delicious chicken salad, by the way. Oh my gosh, it was good. I'm going to pop up time frames. I don't even know how it played out after all this. This was the area I was last present for. Let's see. So again, we broke above. We retested not close enough. I got up to the 15-minute just to speed it up. Came back down. Back down to the area we knew would be significant because we talked about how we mark up our areas of interest. So is that a significant area? Had we marked up our other areas of interest where we stopped, is the same place we would have been talking about had we done that. So you can do both. I have not been doing both. I've been mostly looking at these pre's and lows and highs. And then ta-da, here's where we're sitting right now. So 9:35, 1:35 candle. That is the current time. So as of right now, we're staying above pre-market high, just to kind of give you an idea. But hopefully that helps a little bit.